Hey guys, my name is Connor Gilpatrick, and I'm the host of the Gridiron Gilly Show, where I talk about high school football in East Texas, as well as interview coaches to talk about the game that we all love. If you like the show, please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share it with a friend. I hope you enjoy this episode of the Gridiron Gilly Show.
It's not just about building a championship football culture. It's about building a championship culture, period. It's about being a championship person.
A kid can never be loved too much. They can never have too many good influences on them.
And, pressure is not necessarily a bad thing.
When you're tired and that little voice in your head says you need to quit, can you push past that?
If you're successful 30% of the time at the plate, then you're pretty successful.
You want to get 1% better every day, and you're never a loser if you learn. So if we make a mistake, as long as we're fixing it, we're rolling on.
We tackle every day.
Get you a whistle and get to work.
What's up, everybody? This is the Gridiron Gilly Show. I'm the host, Gridiron Gilly. Today I have Coach Clay Baker with the Carlisle Indians. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I appreciate you having me.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you allowing me to speak with you about your program over there. How's everything going?
It's going good. Rolling right along, getting ready for our second scrimmage tonight. Getting ready to wrap that up and then get ready to start the real games next week.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And y'all got Corrigan tonight, right?
We do. It should be a good test for us. We're looking forward to it. Got a few young guys we're interested in seeing tonight. Kind of like I told the kids, this is your last chance to put something on video, because starting next week, we're going to roll the best 11 out, and we don't plan on making subs unless one of those 11 are tapping, So this is everybody's last audition. That's kind of how we look at it. It's a kid's opportunity to get an audition, to put something on tape for us, to show us why they should be on the field starting next week.
Yes, sir. Awesome. So how I usually start this out is I'll just have the coaches introduce themselves, talk about them growing up, where they played ball at, when they knew they wanted to start coaching, and then who influenced you to get into coaching.
Okay. All right. So, I've been in coaching and education my whole life. My dad, he's retired now, but he's came out of retirement. He's my defensive coordinator. He's an ex-coach. He was a head baseball coach when I grew up in Henderson, where I played ball. So he coached me in football. He coached me in baseball. My mom, she's an ex-principal. She's retired. So I haven't really known anything but the education and coaching background. So, I just grew up with it. I grew up in field houses. I grew up on bus trips, riding to games with my dad, being the ball boy on the sidelines. So with all that being said, obviously he's a big influence on why I'm in this. Getting to watch him every day, getting to see the impact that he has on kids, getting to see the energy he brings and how he gets the most out of the kids that he's around, how he helps them reach their full potential. Just seeing that, and then seeing the excitement on the kid's face when they reach that potential, and then seeing the excitement on his face. It was something that I gravitated towards. It was something that I knew I had an interest in. I played ball my whole life, went to Henderson, played football, baseball, left there, ended up playing some college baseball, had a little bit of a small stint after college baseball, not too long. And then whenever that ended, he happened to have an open. It was about halfway through summer when my career ended. He happened to have an open, gave me a call, asked if I'd be interested. And I didn't hesitate, jumped on it, and that's been 18 years ago, and I haven't left since. So I've been in the profession ever since then, and I haven't thought twice about it. I've loved it. I've grown through it, through the coaches that I've been around, through being around him. I couldn't see myself doing anything else.
Yes, sir. And 18 years ago, was that at Carlisle?
It was. I started at Carlisle. I spent my whole career at Carlisle until a couple years ago, and then I left and I went to Henderson for 2 years. And then after Henderson, I came right back out here to Carlisle, and last year was the first year for me to be back from Henderson. So this will be my second year back at Carlisle. So I've been at two schools, Carlisle most of my life, besides for the 2 years that I was at Henderson.
Okay. Well, I got a lot of love for your program. I've kept up with Carlisle for a long time. I work for the Center Police Department, and I got a guy. He just left and went to Russ County, but he played football for y'all. His last name's Parrott, if you remember him.
Yeah, Andrew Parrott.
Yeah.
He was a good one. Yeah, he's a good young man now, but he was a good one here when he was with us.
he was my partner on nights for a while, and now he lives over there in Henderson, so he went and worked at Russ County now. But and also Shadow Sanders.
Yeah, Shadow was another good one. Shadow graduated with my younger brother, so that was a really, really good group. They were very talented. Plus, they were a bunch of really, really good kids, hard workers. That were very successful for us in every sport they did. And obviously, baseball with the state championship.
Yeah, they were very, very good at baseball and football.
Yep.
Shadow and I have the same half brother. Him and his brother have the same mom. Me and his brother have the same dad. So
well, you've got a lot of Carlisle connections in.
Yeah, I know a lot of those guys over there. So you've already hit all those points. Let's talk about your family, because I see I follow you on socials, and I see your son out there catching passes and all that. He looks like a little stud.
Yeah.
Talk about him and your girls if you want to.
Sure. Yeah. So got 4 kids, happily married, beautiful wife, Jessica. She's in education as well. She works at a private school in Tyler at All Saints. She's been there, I don't even know, probably 15 years or a little bit more. But we've got 4 kids. They actually just started school today. It was their first day. They go to All Saints. My oldest, my son, 6th grade. And then my oldest daughter, 4th grade. And then my other 2 girls, the 2nd grade and the 1st grader. As you said, yes, I post videos of them. They are all very active and very high participating in sports. Obviously, I'm working them out all the time. But I'll give credit. You mentioned my son, watching him on video. I'll give credit to him. And you can ask my dad, who's been around sports his whole life, and he'll tell anybody in a heartbeat that there's nobody that is going to outwork him. And that has nothing to do with me. He had school this morning. He woke up before I did and was lifting weights as I got up to come out to the living room. He's out there finishing his workout. So ever since, I want to say he's 11. So I want to say he started when he was 9. He has not missed a day before school started of getting up before going to school and lifting weights before he ever goes to school. And I'm not up taking him through the workout. He's up doing that on his own. I've wrote the workouts for him. He asked me to, and I write it for him. He does another. You talk about him catching passes. We do a catch circuit where he catches 122 footballs every night. The only nights he doesn't do it is if I have a game night and I'm home and he's already asleep. So he catches 122 balls every night, works out every day. So I'll give credit to him. Yes, he's very talented. He's put out some good video. He makes some good content for me. But he works hard as well, man. He gets after it. He's fun to watch. He's fun to be around.
No doubt. And he goes to All Saints, you said?
He does. He's going in the 6th grade right now. So he goes to All Saints, but he plays on his tackle football team is Lovejoy up in the Allen area. He's actually got his first game Saturday. So I'm excited to get to go watch that. So we got connected there because he's on a 7-on-7 team that's based out of Highland Park. And the quarterback for them is a Lovejoy kid. And so we became really good friends with them, and we were looking for somewhere for him to play tackle for 6th grade. And so it's not convenient. My wife is not excited about the fact that she got home at 10:30 last night from being in Allen at tackle football practice. So twice a week he has to drive to Allen for tackle practice and gets home at about 10:30. But hopefully it'll pay off for him.
It'll only make them better, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
They got a lot of talent up there. It's a good group. So hopefully it'll help him develop and continue to get ready for when he starts middle school ball next year. Awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear it. So you talked about yourself. You talked about your family. Let's get into your staff and your players. If you want to cover that, who's all on your staff, and then your team, offense, defense, whatever.
Yep. No, we've got a really good staff here. I'm excited about them. Most of the guys have either been here at Carlisle with me or been here at the past, possibly working underneath my dad, and I've worked together on staff with them. But we've got a staff that I'm really excited about. It's a bunch of kid-loving guys that love the game. They're passionate about kids. They're passionate about the game. I've got 2 guys on staff when you talk about my dad that are both retired that have came back. My offensive line coach, Tony Bowles, who's a really, really good one. He's been in the game a long time. He came out of retirement for me whenever I decided to come back from Henderson. So he was a big pickup. And then obviously my dad coming out of retirement when I left Henderson, and he's my defensive coordinator. several other guys that have been with me for a while. We got Ronnie Hendricks, who just came back from West Rusk, who was with me. He was my defensive coordinator before I left to go. When my dad was retired, he was who I made the DC the last time I was at Carlisle before I left to go to Henderson. So I got him back. It's another one I'm excited about. Andy Owens is a guy who he coached me when I was at Henderson as a player with my dad, and he was assistant baseball coach for my dad, coached there in Henderson, and we brought him back. He's an ex-Carlisle principal, so he's been in the game a while. He's familiar with the kids. Coach Kenneth Reed is another one that's been here at Carlisle forever that does our secondary, and then we've got some really, really good young guys that are helping out with our junior high. One of them is an ex-Carlisle player, Fernando Espinoza, and then A.J. Hendricks. Jace Burns is a young guy we just moved up to the varsity staff who's really knowledgeable. He's a Sabine graduate. A couple more. Jared Rowland's a really good one. He's been here forever. We just made him head basketball coach. And then we hired Wesley Colley, who he was the head baseball coach. You talk about shadow. He was the state champ head baseball coach here, and we just brought him back from Gary, and he'll be running our junior high. So really excited about the staff. A bunch of guys who have some Carlisle ties, who have a lot of experience, but they just understand the things outside of the X's and O's and how to relate to the kids and get the most out of them. So excited about that. As far as our players go, very senior heavy, which is a good thing this year. It's not great for the future, but it's a good thing this year. We were talking about it during the scrimmage. I mean, we have a starting group. We got 9 seniors starting on offense, 7 seniors starting on defense. So we're really excited about that group. They got a lot of experience last year. Got to play 3 playoff games, kind of understand the big game pressure and how to handle that. So we're excited about that. Led by Antonio Ibarra, our quarterback coming back, second year in our system. A really talented kid, understands the system. He can get on the whiteboard right now, and he can draw everything we got, tell you the reads and all that. Skill-wise, to go with him on offense, we have Elvis Hernandez returning at running back. He's a second-year starter. Ryder McCaney's a second-year starter, kind of an H-back for us. Dakota Grigsby, he led us in receiving and interceptions on the defensive side. So, I mean, he's a really good receiver and DB coming back to go along with those guys up front. Brian and Brandon Garza, a couple twins that both start on the O-line and start at linebacker for us. Those guys are seniors who are two-way starters. Jaden Nardoza is a returner. He's looking at O-line, D-line, started on the D-line last year. So we got quite a few guys that are returning with a lot of varsity experience that we're really excited about.
Yes, sir. 2 more questions, then we'll talk about this year, okay? What do you look for when you're hiring a coach?
Yeah.
What sticks out to you?
So I never once had a coach get on the whiteboard and draw X's and O's and scheme up and say, hey, man, draw me this front, tell me your run plays, show me how to block that. I've never done that. I love just to sit and talk with the guy, find out kind of, what their background is, find guys who love kids, find guys who are passionate about what they're doing. I've always felt like if you can find a way to relate to the kid, if you can find a way to get through to the kid, the X's and O's part is extra, and that'll come. We've got plenty of veteran coaches on staff that know the X's and O's, that can teach any young guy that wants to learn it. We can get on the whiteboard. We can teach them the X's and O's. It's more of finding a guy who can relate to those kids, finding a guy who can get the most out of those kids, finding a guy who enjoys what they're doing as well. We want a good room. I've always told my staff, I'd love to have a locker room full of talented athletes, but any day of the week I would pick a staff of a good group of guys together in this field house right here. If we're together, if we're on the same page, we can find a way to motivate those guys back there in the locker room. But you can't have guys who are on different pages, leaving the field house, and this guy's talking to this guy about how, man, I wish we do that, I wish we do that. We can hash all that out behind closed doors in here. We can all have opinions. But when we leave this office, we got to be on the same page. We got to find a way to relate that to our kids and to get through the kids the best we can. So, I've never had a guy try to get on the board and draw the X's and O's for me. I just want to figure out what's your relationship with kids, how can you motivate kids, and how can you find a way to get through to each individual back there.
Yes, sir. And another question, I asked a lot of coaches this question last year, but some head coaches, you see them on Friday nights and they're look like they're doing everything, and you got some head coaches who just sit back and watch.
Yeah.
So what would you say your role is at Carlisle as the head coach?
Yeah. Well, right now I'm the offense coordinator, so obviously I'm highly involved during the offense when we're on that side of the ball. I do trust my staff 100% completely. I'm going to go to those guys, and I'm going to give those guys first opportunity when it comes to their position to handle any problems, address any mistakes, and do all they need to do there. I'm not going to overstep. I hired those guys to do a job. I'm going to trust that they can do that job, and if they can't, it's my job to communicate that to them, and it's my job to help them understand what my expectations are. But I'm definitely highly involved. I'd like to say I'm pretty active on Fridays. When it comes to the defensive side, I'm a lot more hands off just because my DC is my dad. I trust him 100%. I grew up coaching under him. I came into this profession under him. So I know that we're on the same page. And he's a guy that I ask a lot of questions on Friday nights when it comes down to making those decisions on, do we want to punt? Do we want to go for it? Do we possibly want to onside? Do we want to go for that 2-point? He's the first guy I'm going to ask when it comes to those questions just because he's got more experience than me. He's been in big games. He's been in a lot more Friday nights than I've been in. So I'm going to revert back to that experience he's got and ask him those questions. But no, when it comes to offense, I'm heavily involved. Defense, I'm a little more hands off. I'm still going to, if I see something, I'm going to say anything. But I like to let my guys coach and do the job that I hired them to do.
Yes, sir. And y'all used to do like the double wing, right? Many years ago.
Yeah. So
some variation of it.
Long ways away from that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was my first year into coaching. I actually, like I said, my dad gave me a call. It's midway through summer. He had an opening and asked if I wanted to do it. I knew zero about the double wing. No, I'd never even seen it in my life. I grew up in Henderson. We were 4A back when there was no 6A. It was 5A down, so we were second biggest classification. You didn't necessarily see a whole lot of that. A lot of Pro I, not even as much spread back then. But I knew nothing about the double wing. I get hired 1 week later. I found out that we're changing our offense to the double wing, and I ride down with the staff. We jump in the cars, we ride down. We go to a little clinic to learn about the double wing, and I had no idea. Took as much notes as I could, though. But we did that for about 1.5 years, 2 years, and then we kind of slowly got away from it. That was about the time that my younger brother, his group was coming through. We had a lot of good skilled kids. He was the quarterback for him, very, very athletic, could sling the ball. So it didn't suit him very well. We needed to get him back there in the gun, give him the opportunity to run the ball, give him the opportunity to sling the ball, a lot more freedom to him on the offense. So we changed the spread at that point, and then ever since then we've been spreading and kind of continuing to try to involve with the times.
Okay. Well, that was my question, what you did offensively, because I've seen a lot of Carlisle football over the years, and I don't see y'all back there running the ball 100 times a game anymore like you used to.
No, we try to be very multiple. We're a spread team. We try to be as multiple as we can with formations. That's our big deal. Is we want to show you a lot of formations. We want to show you a lot of motions, a lot of shifts, a lot of smoke and mirrors. But then on the inside, it's very simple for our kids. They've grasped it really, really well. We've got our whole playbook inserted right now already by the second scrimmage. So it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. Like I said, a lot of formations, shifts, motions. I like to give my quarterback a lot of freedom. We'll tag a lot of RPOs on things, run pass options where he can have that option. Even if it's not an RPO, he's got the option to pull a lot of things. Sometimes with that being a triple option style where he could possibly pitch on something, or sometimes where he can just pull and run it. So the more I trust him, which the one we've got, like I said, with Tony, I trust him tremendously. He knows the system as good as anybody we've got. So I try to put a lot of trust in his hands, and he's got a lot of pre-snap decisions and post-snap decisions he's got to make that could make one play call look 3 different ways if we called it 3 times in a row.
Yes, sir. So did you get 3rd in district last year?
We did. Yep.
Okay. 3rd in district. A lot of your districts the same. You still got Frankston, Cayuga, and then you
had Kearns.
Kearns, yeah.
And then we picked up
Como, Picton.
Alba, and Como Picton. Yeah.
Okay. And then this year, the experts at Dave Campbell's have you picked 1st in your district. I'm not disagreeing with them. I know one word I have written down here on my paper about Carlisle football is consistent. From the time I first heard about Carlisle till now, it's been a consistent program. Very good football program, very good defensively.
Yeah.
you really don't score a lot of points on Carlisle, and they can score a lot of points on you, and they're always a playoff team year in and year out.
Yeah, I think consistent's a great word. And that's what, that's what I told them when I came back last year. Like, there was one year where maybe they weren't quite as successful and they didn't meet those expectations, but we made it clear as soon as we got back in the building and started the season last year that the expectations haven't changed here. We consider ourselves a playoff team year in and year out, and have been ever since my dad got here in 2008, I believe it was, so for close to 20 years, we feel like we've been a playoff team. Those expectations haven't changed. Every year we expect to compete for a district championship. Every year we expect to be playing in the postseason, and every year we expect to be a contender in the postseason. As far as the predictions, last year we're predicted to get not even in the playoffs. This year we're predicted to get first place, like you said, Dave Campbell. Do we see those things? Absolutely. I'm not going to lie and say we ignore them or don't see them. I've discussed it with the kids, and I've explained to them, hey, if you think this is last year, by no means it's not. Here's your expectations this year. Here was your expectations last year from the outside. But then I made it clear to them that our expectations from the inside haven't changed from last year to this year. That's first place is our expectation. We're not playing to get second place. We expect to win a district championship every single year, year in and out, and we expect to compete for it. And whether it happens, no, it don't. But we're going to compete for it, and that's going to be our goals every year. And then we expect, like I said, we expect to get into the postseason, and we expect to be a contender when we get there, not just a participant. So we want those expectations. We embrace those expectations, and as a staff, our kids, as a program, we talk about them. We don't shy away from them. But they also understand you got to go 1-0 every single Friday. None of that matters, and you don't win a district championship if you don't win out here tonight. And then you don't win out here next Friday. So it's got to be a week-to-week mentality. And then the rest of it will take care of itself.
Yes, sir. And I have wrote down your non-district schedule. You got Mount Enterprise, who's coming off the state semifinal appearance in Division II. They lost a lot who graduated, but they're still – I saw they got a running back. Lundy posted him. Tristan Lundy posted him. They got a running back supposed to be really talented. New coaching staff, probably a group of motivated kids. Harleton.
Sure.
You got Harleton, Overton, and Lovelady. I don't know much about Harleton, but I know Overton and Lovelady's pretty good. Lovelady came up to Division I. I think they're in Region 4 now. But they're always a solid program, and then Overton's a good program as well that was in the playoff last year.
Now, we're excited about our non-district schedule. I think it'll test us the way we need to be tested. There's a nice variety in different schemes that we'll see. That's another thing. You don't want to just go out and face the same scheme for 4 weeks in a row, because you're not going to see the same scheme once the district starts. So that's something we look at. We want to face some teams that are a little bit more athletic, that try to get you in space and spread you out. And then we want to face some teams that are going to try to overpower you and keep most things tight and in the box. And I think we got a nice variety of that. As you said, we'll open with Mount Enterprise. We're excited about that. That's a team that just came off of a really good run. I understand they graduated some really good players. Everybody in the state knows who Ash is. And I understand he's graduated. But as you said, that's going to be a highly motivated team. They got a brand new staff. Their kids expect to win after what they did last year. So we're excited. And that's a game that last year we felt like got away from us at the very end, that we're excited about getting another opportunity at them. Harleton will be a good test. They're always a big physical team. They're always good in the trenches. So that'll be a good opportunity for us to see a big physical team that's going to be really, really good in the trenches. And then wrapping it up with Overton and Lovelady. Obviously, Overton being the rival, it's always a good game year in and year out. Very athletic team. Coach Lamance has done a really, really good job there. And then Lovelady's a team, as you said with us, consistent. They're as consistent as anybody around at the 2A level. I mean, every single year, I feel like, you look up in December and Lovelady is still playing. So that's a team that's really consistent, puts in a good program year in and year out, that we're excited about seeing them as well.
Yes, sir. Let's talk about Carlisle Athletics as a whole. How is the entire athletic program, boys and girls side at Carlisle?
Yeah, we're excited about what we got going this year. Volleyball team's off to a good start. They're 5-3. On our girls side, we're really, really excited about our young girls. We've got a really good freshman group who won district as 8th grade in everything they did last year. Volleyball, basketball, track. They were the district champions in every single one of them. So we're really excited about that group. Very athletic group, and you can already see it on our volleyball team. adding those girls out there, but what we returned, which was some really good players as well. So we're excited about that. Excited to see those girls trend through the rest of the sports when it comes to basketball. I think we could be athletic with those young girls. Track, like I said, they were the district champs, so we're excited there. And then on the boys' side, we made a few changes for our head coaches. We'll have a new head basketball coach with Jared Rowland. He was the head basketball coach previously before I left. He just hasn't been, but he'll come back and he'll be our head boys coach. We're excited about that. The last time he did it, he was a playoff contender. We got some really good young kids as well, and a few kids that didn't play last year we're excited about having out. And then we have a new baseball coach with Ronnie Hendricks, who, again, he was a playoff contender last time he was here. Really good baseball background, who he was the baseball coach last time I was here. He's coming back, so I'm excited about seeing him and getting that program going in the right direction, which that program has, as we mentioned, that we are a 2010 state champion, so there is a good pedigree there. So we're excited about him getting back to that. And then we have a new head boys track coach as well with Kenneth Reed. He's been on staff. Last year, Jared Rowland did both boys and girls. Now he's just going to do girls track since he's head boys basketball. Take a little bit more off of him, give him head girls track. He's done a great job with them. Every year he's taking numerous girls to the regional track meet. Excited about Coach Reed getting his first opportunity as a head coach to do the track on the boys' side. And I think he's going to do really good things for them as well.
Yes, sir. You've been coaching a long time, like you said, 18 years, I believe. But you look like a young man. You look like you're probably not even 40 years old yet.
I have reached that mark, yes.
You have? Okay.
Yes, I have.
Well, the coach I interviewed last night too, he's probably wasn't even in his 40s yet either. But advice to young coaches who are just getting into it, or maybe coaches who want to be where you're at. Any advice for those guys?
Sure, yeah. And I've got several young coaches in the room, and I've told them the same thing that I'm saying here is, be the best at whatever you're doing, whatever those duties are. As I tell every single coach, if you're that wide receiver coach, you are the head coach of the wide receivers. Everybody on my staff, I like for them to look at themselves as a head coach. If you're the DB coach, you're the head coach of the DBs. You're O-line, whatever it is, you are the head coach of that. You need to approach it that way, and you need to understand that positional group or that sport, whatever you're coaching, is a direct reflection of you. And what I mean by that is not necessarily their performance. You can't control their athletic ability, but you can control their attitudes. You can control their efforts. You can control their preparation. So make sure your unit, your positional group, or whatever you're coaching is the best prepared team or the best prepared group on the field, the best effort group on the field, the best attitudes on the field. And those, like I told them, that kind of thing stands out not only to me, it stands out to everybody that's in the stands, and they notice that. I feel like I always tried to pride myself coming up when I was a positional coach. I'm a very competitive person. I loved our whole staff, but when I was a positional coach, I was competing against those guys Monday through Thursday, and I wanted my position to outwork everybody else's position on the field that day. And I wanted it to be clear, no question about it, that my group was the most prepared and the hardest working group on the field. And I think if they'll do that, that'll go a long ways in helping them not only stand out to their athletic director or stand out to other people, it'll also help prepare them for when they are in a leadership role or in a head role one day to be more prepared to take that on. So I think that's huge. And then I also tell them, just the little things that's outside of coaching stands out. Like if I'm back there in the locker room and I'm handing out laundry or I'm sweeping and you're sitting up here in the coaching office, that stands out in a negative way to me. But if you're the guy that's the first one in every day and I go back there to try to see if the laundry's done and you've already done it, or I go back there to see if the locker room's clean and you've already done it, and you're doing things like that, that stands out as well. That shows that you're not scared to do the little things. No job is too small for you, and you're willing to take on those type tasks that are outside of coaching as well.
Yes, sir. And I like that answer. I listened to an interview of yours. It was a lady that had interviewed you not too long ago, I guess. And every question she asked you, you just was like, I'm a sports guy. I'm a sports guy. Like, I can't do this or that.
She's trying to ask what I would want to do outside of sports or,
yes,
or what my hobbies are and things like that.
Yeah. Well, I love that because that's the same way with me. Like I'm a police officer, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. whenever I'm at work. But after that, I'm just a sports guy. I like talking about sports.
Yeah.
That's all I really care about. I can't build a birdhouse, but I can talk to you about sports, basketball, baseball, football. It don't matter.
100%. Like I said, I grew up in it. Me and my dad didn't grow up going hunting or building projects, things together. But by the time I could walk, me and my dad were in the backyard with a bat and a ball, and we were doing drills every single day. He would get home from his practices as a coach, and we were outside until the sun went down. And then as I got older, he was even out there when the sun did go down because he installed some lights in our backyard. So I don't know anything but sports. That's all I've done my whole life ever since I knew what it was. So and I love doing it. I enjoy it. I enjoy being up here. I enjoy being around these kids. I enjoy this program, and I enjoy going home and doing it with my kids. I'm not tired when I get home. As soon as I get home, we're going to work, and we're doing something sports related with my four as well, where I can help them be prepared to help their programs and to help their development also.
Yes, sir. I got a 2-year-old son. He'll be 2.5 soon, and then I got twin boys on the way due in November. So
well, congratulations.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. But my boy, he's like, he's got a basketball goal. He's got a bat with a T and stuff. And he's got a little football, and he's always wanting to do something. He can't catch the football. I'll throw it at him. He's scared of it. But I'm like, boy, you got to catch the ball.
Yeah, he's got a long ways to go.
Yeah, he can throw it though, but
that's awesome.
He can't catch it.
Yeah,
I was like, it's okay. You can always play on the line.
Yeah, he's got one. You never know how to develop, but no, I love it. I mean, if you walked in my living room, I have a 10-foot basketball goal sitting in my living room, not outside. We've got high ceilings, and we literally have a basketball game in my living room. So I have told my kids there is no excuse. I'm going to provide you with anything you might need that can help you be good. We've got the weight room stuff in our house. We've got a basketball goal in our house. We've got plenty of equipment when it comes to baseball, softball, football. So they got every opportunity. Now, they might tear our house down one day eventually with all they're doing. I mean, we're banging footballs and basketballs off windows and TVs and everything else, but that's okay. Hopefully it'll pay off on one day. And so they've got every opportunity to be successful.
Yes, sir. A few more questions and then we'll wrap up. Okay. Before I ask these questions, though, I'm gonna go ahead and say this because my buddy's been saying this for years, and he's always like, you got to tell, if you ever talk to him, you got to tell him. So has anybody ever told you who your celebrity lookalike is?
No.
Do you watch UFC?
A little bit.
Okay, well, Colby Covington.
I figured you were going to do that because I saw your post, and then I saw the first comment on there, and I was assuming that's where you were going to go. Yeah,
that's the guy who did. Yes, he always is like, he looks like Colby Covington.
Yeah. Hopefully, my older brother doesn't watch this, or my younger brother this podcast, because I'm sure if they do, as soon as you put it out, they're going to send me some kind of picture through a text of him saying something, trying to be funny. So.
Well, you're probably a lot cooler than he is.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I definitely don't want to step inside a ring with him, though.
Yeah, absolutely not. But you're probably a cooler guy than he is. All right, the best athlete you've either played against or coached against.
Yeah, best athlete I've coached. There's two of them that come to mind. One of them, I hope he doesn't watch the podcast again because he is my younger brother. So I hope he doesn't watch this where he doesn't get too big of a head. But he was a very, very talented athlete, baseball, football, everything. But then as far as a head coach, because I wasn't head coach when he came through, as far as a head coach, best athlete I coached would be Gerald Turner. Now, we've had a lot of good ones. So that's nothing against the other ones that were with him. He had some really good ones on the team that he played with.
I remember
Gerald
him.
was just special. There was things that he could do that I've never seen anybody do on a football field. And just the fact that there wasn't – Gerald could throw, Gerald could catch, Gerald could run, Gerald could line – he didn't do it, but Gerald could line up and kick a 30-yard field goal for us if he wanted to. So he was just such a talented athlete, fun to coach. But that'd probably be the best athlete that I coached. Best athlete you said that I coached against or played against?
Either or.
Best athlete I played against had to be Adrian Peterson. I came through Henderson the same time he came through Palestine, and obviously he was a freak of nature and built different. So trying to go up against him was definitely a tall task. They put him out wide at receiver. Trying to have to cover him was definitely not fun, and then trying to tackle him was probably even less fun. Best athlete I coached against, I'd have to go with Terry Bussey. nothing against I think Keegan Ash is very close up there with him coaching against, because he can do some special things on the field also. But Bussy was just a very special talent. They're kind of like I said with Gerald, there wasn't nothing on the field that he couldn't do. I mean, you couldn't kick to him in the special teams. I mean, he was going to catch a snap at quarterback. He could run it. He could throw it. He could play defense. So he's a very special athlete.
Yes, sir. I knew you were going to say that whenever I was like, I wonder if they ever played Timpson, because if they did, that's going to be the answer.
Yeah.
And then Adrian Peterson, that's my son's name, Adrian. He's named after Adrian Peterson.
Not well. If he gets any bit of that, Adrian, then he's gonna be special.
You already mentioned the rivalry being Overton. That was a question I had. Who's your rivalry?
Yes.
So we don't have to talk about that. What's the toughest place to play at?
It's a good question. That was a question in the Jack Stallard sent an email to all the coaches asking them as well. A couple of different ones come to mind to me. I always think Joaquin's a tough place to go and play. Stadium, similar to ours. There's not much sideline, so the stands are right up on top of you, so that's just a little bit different. Now, fortunately, we're used to it because I can turn around and give people high five in the stands. We're so close to ours, but that's a little bit different, and you always just feel like they've got a really good crowd. It's a tough place to play. Alto, really good tradition there. That's a tough place to go and win also. That's a good one. Their crowd gets into it. Their band obviously makes it to where when you go to Alto, it's extremely difficult to play there also. Off the top of my head, that's a couple that kind of stand out to me.
Okay. Yeah, you're talking about Gerald. I remember that game, 2018 playoff game against Joaquin at Carthage.
That was a fun game. Very special game.
Yes, I don't know if that was the first time I saw him, because I know y'all played Joaquin in district before that, but I don't know if he was the quarterback then.
No, he wasn't. Yeah, but no, that was a good game. Another one that had a really good night that night was Jay Price. I don't remember how much
receiver.
I want to say he was probably 150 or more receiving yards that night, where he was uncoverable. So him and Gerald, and there was quite a few others on that team. It's not like they were the only two by no means, but they both had a special night that night, put up a lot of points for us.
I remember very well. That was a really good game.
That was a fun game, really fun game.
I used to ask the best football movie, but I always got the same answers every time. So what's the best sports movie?
Man, best sports movie.
And it can be a
lot of good
movie.
Ones. Do I now?
I said it can be a football movie, because it probably will be.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of good ones. I'm trying to think of I've went blank since you said it. But I really enjoyed. It's definitely not kid approved, so it's not PG rated. What's the one? Is it? I don't know why I'm blank on the name. Where Jamie Foxx is the running back. They're the
Any Given Sunday?
Yeah, Any Given Sunday is a really good one to me, and that's probably not one you get many answers on. But that's a good one, but definitely don't watch it with your kids. Besides that, obviously, Remember the Titans is a classic. If you are looking for a sports movie or a football movie with your kids, that one's a classic. It's a good one. We just watched the sports movie the other night. I definitely would put it one of my top, but it was funny. It's an older one, not that old, but it's funny just because we were talking about my son has a game Saturday. Well, they're playing one of the best teams in their league, and we were watching the movie. It's about Sean Payton, where he gets kicked out and he has to go back and coach his son's team. Well, they're walking by the top ranked
home team.
Yeah, they're walking by the Porcupines team, and they're Porcupine, doing the chant, looking at him, intimidating. And I'm telling my son, that's going to be your team getting looked at by the other team when you walk out Saturday. I'm not putting that in my top movie, but that one, you said movies, and we just watched that one this past weekend when I was telling him that. So,
yeah, that one was on Netflix. It's a good one. It's a good children's movie.
Yeah. I'm for baseball. I love some baseball too. Is it For the Love of the Game with Kevin Costner is the pitcher?
Is that what it's called? I don't know what it's called, but I know what you're talking about.
Maybe that's a really good one to me too. I like that one.
Okay. Couple more questions. I used to ask college football or NFL, but everybody always said college football.
Yeah, I'm a big college football fan. I don't watch a whole lot of NFL.
Yeah, same. Who is do you have a team that you like or coaches you like in college football?
Yep. So, well, the team is because of an ex-coach, but I'm a USC fan, and have been for a long time, mainly because of Pete Carroll. So when you talk about coaching, I love Pete Carroll, and I know he's getting up there nowadays. You wouldn't notice if you watched him, though. That sucker's still one of the highest energy coaches around. You would not think he's that age. But I've always been, even when I was young, I was in middle school. I really, really liked Pete Carroll. I just liked watching him on the sidelines. I loved the energy he brought. I thought he was a very high energy, positive coach. He found a way to get the most out of his players. And then I just kept liking USC through the years, even after he left. That's just always been my team. So USC when it comes to college, and then as far as coaching, he's not in college, but Pete Carroll would be my favorite coach.
Awesome. Yeah, that's an answer I've never gotten. So
yeah,
I like that.
I've got right here in my office when he was in Seattle, right here on the wall, "We Are 12" towel with the Pete Carroll autograph on it. So
I don't know if you could tell throughout this 39 minutes, but I've been battling some congestive sinus thing. I told the coach yesterday, I was like, sorry if I keep coughing, but I don't know what happened. I woke up the other night feeling rough.
That's all right. Well, I hope he gets feeling better.
Yes, sir. I hope so. How does the wet bulb, how does that affect y'all over there in Carlisle?
It's definitely challenging. We've looked at the avenue. We don't do morning practices. Obviously, we've talked about it. I just feel like if we did go to morning practice, it's hard for a lot of our kids to get here if they're not riding the bus. And if we went to morning practice, now we're sitting here talking about, well, do you punish a kid who couldn't be here for morning practice because A, he can't drive, or B, his parents were not going to get him there that early, and the only way to get here to school is to ride the bus. So now do you punish those kids for it? So we looked at that, and we just felt like that was something we didn't want to do. We have been hit with it a couple of times. We got hit once this week. We got hit last week as well. So, we have been hit with it. You find ways to adapt. It's the same with everything else. Obviously, most coaches are routine guys. So whenever you kind of mess with that routine, there's a lot of resistance to that. I do think there's benefit to it. I understand it, the safety, and we're trying to look out for the best of the kids and the safety of the kids. So I do understand that. But clearly there's some resistance because you've taken all of us out of our comfort elements where we've got to do something different. And so we're all a little bit uncomfortable with that. But I think we'll all adjust. We'll find ways, just like every other program has. We'll find ways to adapt. We'll find ways to still be prepared on Friday nights and get the most out of it. So it's challenging, but we find ways to work around it, whether you have to come inside, whether you have to spend time in the weight room first, video first, board first, and then it cools off and you go out, or whatever it is that we have to do to find a way to still make the most out of each day.
Yes, sir. And the last question, I know Carlisle's a big town with a lot going on over there.
Yeah.
Price, I guess, is the name of the town. But assuming somebody wants to come watch y'all play some football at some point this season, where's a good spot to eat at? I know Henderson's right there, and they got a lot of options.
So we do have – typically we serve really good – somebody will do some kind of tamales or tacos or something here at the game probably. So honestly, your best bet might be to eat when you get here because it's going to be homemade and they're going to be really, really good. And I love the games when we finish and we come back in here in the field house, especially after a win. It makes it better. And somebody who was here doing tamales or tacos brings them over and we get to enjoy those afterwards. There's also because you have to go to Henderson or somewhere else if you're going to actually eat. There's no restaurants in Carlisle. But it stays open really late. Right across the street is a taco truck that's separate from if we have one in here in the game, and they have got some really, really good tacos. We've had coaches that when we finish in here have asked me before we start doing any breakdown film or anything, hey, can we go over there and grab some if they're still open? I mean, they love them and they're really good as well. So your best bet is to try to hope that there's a taco truck across the street or we have tamales or tacos set up inside, one or the other.
Yes, sir. Well, that was my last question. Other than what time do y'all kick off tonight?
5 o'clock. We'll alternate back and forth. So JV will do a couple series. Then varsity will do a little bit. Varsity's not going to do a whole lot of control tonight. We're going to get 12 plays on offense, 12 plays on defense. And then the rest of the control part is all JV, and then we'll finish it up. Varsity will do a live half. We'll do a regular clock for the first quarter, and then we'll just kind of play it by ear on the second quarter if we want to keep it a regular clock, if we want to run it a little bit, just kind of depending on how the scrimmage is going at that point.
Yes, sir. 5 o'clock.
Yep. Not right there in the middle of the heat, but the wet bug doesn't matter during the scrimmage, which is a crazy thing, but it doesn't matter to us today. So we'll have some tents up, we'll have plenty of water, and we'll make sure we take breaks.
Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate your time, Coach. I look forward to seeing what y'all do. Region 3, one of the better teams in that region, I feel like. Looking forward to keeping up with y'all and seeing what all y'all do this year.
Thank you for listening to the Gridiron Gilly Show. Remember, it's more than just a game, and I'll see y'all next time.
Football.